What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I got some new news for you concerning Bernard, the Executioner / the Alien Hopkins, and David Lemieux. Let's start off with David Lemieux. For those who don't know, a little recap. Lemieux knocked out Curtis Stevenson in 3 rounds. Vicious knockout. Dangerous, scary knockout. Curtis Stevens, he went out on a stretcher. I hope he's okay, but it is what it is. The school of hard knocks, and it was an impressive win by David Lemieux. So that sets a stage for Lemieux. Why do I say that? Because his promoter, Bernard Hopkins, is actually, he went on record stating that he feels that Danny Jacobs will upset Gennady Golovkin. Well, that's convenient. You would conveniently think that right now, right? Because your fighter, which is Canelo Alvarez, which is ongoing negotiations, back and forth talk, and what so have you, about a possible fight or showdown with Gennady Golovkin, and that fight's supposed to have happened, but it never happened. So, and on top of that, Bernard Hopkins was once one of the top middleweights, and then he broke a record with 20 title defenses. He broke Carlos Monzon's record with 16 title defenses, and Bernard broke his with 20. Okay, so the thing is, Bernard Hopkins doesn't want anyone to upset his or offset his legacy, because Gennady Golovkin is at 16, I believe, now. And if Golovkin can maintain and beat everyone this year, if he beats Jacobs, then he fights again in June, then September, then December, yes, he will break his record if he beats everyone this year. Regardless of if he fights next year or not, which I wouldn't recommend because he'll be 35. What else could he prove at 35 if he beats Jacobs, then either beats Canelo or Billy Joe Saunders, unifies all the belts. And, I don't really think that he needs Canelo. I really don't. Because Canelo is the type of person, he can fight anyone else and make a shitload of money. His legacy, to me, Canelo's legacy was fighting Mayweather and losing to Mayweather. Winning a close decision to Lara. Really after that, besides the Cotto fight, he really hasn't fought anyone worth a shit, since then. I just gotta be honest. He's beat some good guys, Angulo, Kirkland, Smith. They're decent. But, who are they? Who did they beat? You know what I mean? So, Angulo and Kirkland fought each other. A lot of people. Josito Lopez, beat Victor Ortiz. He was going to fight Victor Ortiz, but Lopez, upset Ortiz. So now he fought Lopez, knocked him out. He was a smaller guy moving up. But his legacy, he had the right promoters, the right handlers, and they marketed him right. He fought an old Mosley. He lost by Mayweather again. They just marketed him right, and, kudos for him. He's still a skilled fighter at the end of the day, and I don't really think that he needs to fight Golovkin. Maybe to get his balls back for some machismo, reckonings or reasons, but I don't really think that he would want to fight him. Maybe if he looks like shit against Jacobs and he ends up knocking Jacobs out but still looks like shit, he might fight him. He might, okay, I'll give you 25 to 75. That'll be the price bid anyway, right? Because Canelo would win a price bid, but again, he needs a belt. He gave the belt up, so he has no bargaining tool with a sanctioning body. So it'd just be some type of other bullshit fight without a belt. They'll probably make one like they're doing with Chavez, but, that's neither here or there. So, but back to Lemieux, Lemieux could fight Canelo, and that would be one hell of a fight, I stated. I still think Canelo could beat him because I think Canelo was always fighting at a weight class he had no business being in. That's why he made his own weight class. So I think at 160 is a comfortable weight for him. But we just got to see how he looks at 164.5. Because if he feels like he's powerful, if he pulls a Vinny Pazienza shit, you know what I mean, and can punch a lot harder at a higher weight class, and he can carry that power up to that weight class, he might want to take on Gennady Golovkin and agree to terms, But here's the deal. I don't think if anybody ever thought of this. You're a skillful fighter like Canelo Alvarez. You're 26 years old. You've never been to the canvas. You've been seldomly hurt in fights. I've only seen Canelo Alvarez hurt one time. I've seen him frustrated and outboxed, but I never seen him just hurt, right? I know Floyd countered him, and just kind of intimidated him. But I never seen him hurt, right? So why would you need all that advantage? If I was Canelo Alvarez, I would want to come to 160, fight at 160, and give everyone no excuses to prove like, hey, even though I'm the A side, I know I can beat you. Therefore, I know I can beat you. Sure, you can have whatever you want. Because as soon as I whoop that ass, I'm taking it all. What's wrong with that? I mean, what's really wrong with that? I mean, I'm going to get Canelo fans. They're going to piss. They're going to moan. I got a guy last week. This dude was incredible. He called me bitches, sluts, hoes. He called me everything that you could possibly name me just because I spoke my opinion. And I don't even think he listened to the whole video, because that video was actually giving Canelo props from the skills that he had. You know what I mean? But he didn't see it that way. He was a typical Canelo fan, and he was passionate about his fighter. And he just, he went to town on me, man, So, but I just call it like I see it. If I felt Canelo was if Golovkin was that easy to beat, he would have fought Golovkin already. He would have came up there and took that belt. Those plans were set in motion when he beat Cotto. And he beat Cotto. There was don't be confused about any kind of judges' scorecards, man. He beat Cotto. There ain't nothing. He didn't even have to knock Cotto down. I think he could have knocked Cotto out if he kept pressing the issue. He could have knocked his ass out, but he didn't. I think he respected Cotto because he liked him kind of as a mentor. You know what I mean? Because Cotto, he got about 10 years on Canelo. Looked at him kind of like a big brother mentor-like deal. You know what I mean? And he didn't really feel that it was necessary to knock out a legend like Cotto, because Cotto is that. He is a very, very skilled and highly regarded fighter. You know what I'm saying? And he, 4-time division champ. So, and I think because of that, I think Canelo, went easy on him. You know what I mean? But then again, he had showed no mercy with these smaller guys. He showed no mercy to fucking Khan, Josito Lopez. Look how he knocked out Smith. He knocked him out and didn't even want to give him respect. You know what I mean? So he just shit on these other fighters by knocking their ass out and getting them out of there. So, but, if that fight happens, it happens. But if Bernard Hopkins, if you guys can remember, Bernard Hopkins was wants to fight Golovkin. Like, I'll fight for him. I'm like, what the hell is that? You'll fight for him. And he was serious about it because, Bernard Hopkins is that kind of guy. But it only shows what type of guy Bernard Hopkins is versus what his fighter that he's promoting ain't. Does that make sense? Like, he said, okay, I'll take on Golovkin. I'll take on Kovalev. I'll take on Stevenson. And then you know what? He was honest because he took on Kovalev. He beat Shuanov. And this is the same kind of guy that upset Pavlik, upset Trinidad, beat Roy Jones Jr., knocked out De La Hoya. He is an exact example of what a true champion and a warrior is supposed to be. You know what I mean? So for him, coming out in the spotlight saying, hey, I'll fight Golovkin. And that was late last year, right? I'll fight Golovkin. Sure, you'll fight Golovkin to stop his ass from beating your score streak. You know what I mean? Beating your record. Records will be broken, but he don't want that shit broken by Golovkin. Not why he's still alive. You know what I mean? And why he's still able to fight in his mind. Yeah, he'll fight Golovkin. You think if he fought Kovalev, you think he wouldn't fight Golovkin? So yeah, he was in favor and was dead serious about fighting Golovkin. But it only shows he's only showing his fighter what type of fighter his fighter should be. You know what I mean? But it also shows the difference because Canelo ain't doing that shit. You know, why would you fight for your fighter? You're just showing him, you're supposed to be showing your fighter what type of fighter that you should be. Canelo should be fighting all those guys. When he took on Lara, I'm like, oh shit. You got a bad motherfucker here because Lara was that dude nobody wanted to fight. Nobody wanted to face. You know, he only had one loss and everyone knew that loss was some bullshit. So, wow, I'm looking at an undefeated Cuban fighter, you know, at a championship. You know, and then this motherfucker calls me out and he picks up the phone and he says, let's make the fucking fight happen. And it happened. You know, and then at that point, I was like, oh, shit, you know. But after that fight, things changed, right? So then we had this bullshit, you know what I mean? You know, guys like Kirkland, which Kirkland is a good fighter. You know, as of that time, he had one loss, you know. And I think, Kirkland still has one loss, you know. I mean, the only guy to knock, two losses now, you know. But the thing about Canelo and Bernard and Lemieux, you know, all these Golden Boy guys, you know, I think that we will see a Canelo Lemieux fight faster than we'll see a Golovkin fight. Because I think the next person that I don't see it. Because if Julio Cesar Chavez gives Canelo any type of fight, it's going to be disputed. Chavez Jr. is going to think he won if he's not knocked out to the body, right? And then they're going to fight again in September. That's how it's going to happen. That's how the shit is going to go down. I'm telling you, that's how it's going to happen. So and then Canelo, that's his second time to fight. He's doing exactly what Floyd did. He's not going to fight 3 times a year. He's not going to do it. He makes enough money in 2 fights. Why fight 3? You know? Again, Danny Jacobs does have a good chance of beating Golovkin, but don't fall into the bullshit with Bernard Hopkins because, you know, he does have a hidden agenda, you know, for the reasons that be. But anyway, you know, Bernard is a hellified promoter. All right, he's a hell of a commentator. You know, he speaks well. He's articulate. You know, he has character, and you know he proved that. And the ironic thing about that, I did a video of how Danny Jacobs could win, and I compared his Trinidad's loss to Hopkins like Golovkin could lose to Danny Jacobs, and a lot of people think I'm crazy, but that could be a reality soon. In 4 days, that fight is 4 days away. So all the talk, we can all talk. All us commentators, all us fight fans, all of us, we could all talk. But when they get in the ring, we're really going to see who's going to be who, you know. And I will be there. And when it's over, I will be reporting live. But again, this is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. And you guys been counterpunched. Look at my Facebook fan page, Counterpunch Boxing News. Please subscribe. Peace.